Sales, sales, sales. As a startup founder, selling is the absolute essential skill to have. Not only you need to sell your idea to the customers, but also you need to sell your ideas to your co-founders, investors, strategic partners, media, and other key stakeholders in order to gain tractions and develop your idea into a product and then develop into a business. So as we probably all heard this before, sell me this pen, which is a test to see whether or not you are a great salesman. So when someone presents you this pen and asks you, sell me this pen, an amateur who doesn't know how to sell will focus on this pen first and speaking about the features and then the benefits, such as a special design, the prestigious brand, or a big promotion that's running right now. Really just try to sell this pen without engaging customers and gathering intelligence from the customers, which is not the way the salesperson should do to kick off the conversation. In fact, that's a typical mistake to have, or a bad habit, which is go straight to the solution without exploring the customer and the problem space with the customers. And that's very natural because that's a human psychology of how our mental functions and how we're making decisions intuitively, taking shortcuts. Would you agree? So as a professional salesperson, when someone presents you this pen, and it's important for you to not really get into this mental trap of speaking about this pen first, but instead, your first instinct should be, okay, let's move away this pen for a moment and let me focus on the customer first and really just making great efforts to get to know the customers in a systematic process, get a good sense of who am I talking to. Am I talking to a real buyer who has an interest, a need, a sense of urgency, and by the way, is a decision maker for this purchase? Or am I talking to a non-buyer who is basically window shopping with no real intention to make this purchase, whether for now or for the near future? Or am I talking to a 50-50 buyer, who is just always on the fence, try to decide later, and let me think about it type of customers? So the best way to identify your customers is through prospecting, asking really smart questions, engaging customers, and really just gaining great rapport so you can gain control of the conversation from start to finish. So let me give you a few examples in terms of how do you kick off the conversation. So such as, do you mind if I just ask you a few questions so I can get to know you and ensure to recommend the right solution so it best fits your preference and guarantee your satisfaction? Because it's important to get a good alignment with the customers for the purpose of the conversation. So, in order to gain trust and the conversation starts to flow in a more natural way. And now you can start asking questions. Okay, so how long you been in the market looking for a pen, right? And, are you looking for business use or for personal use? And what specific purpose are you going to be using this pen for? Any requirements that you are aware of for this usage? Do you have a budget in your mind for this pen? How often you use this pen? And maybe you can share experience with your current pen. What made you frustrated? And what are some things that you really like about this pen? So as you gather intelligence from the customers, it's actually also a great way for you to build up your confidence and your certainty about your sales pitch. Sometimes you just quickly notice, this customer is not even looking for a pen with zero interest, and you can just move them to the pipeline and then just move on. But for customers as identified as a potential buyer, and then you can just go, okay, based on the information I have known about you, here's the pen I would recommend for these 3 reasons. And then you can start your sales pitch and show a demo and get a reaction from the customers. See if they like it. Does that make sense? Do they have any more concerns or questions? And the other thing as a salesperson is you need to initiate objections from the customers because hidden or unspoken objection can kill the deal. So you need to act proactively to handle those hidden concerns. And the other thing is, you need to kind of notice the moment when you need to stop selling and start closing. So stop selling, stop closing, and closing the sale because the customers, they need to feel your energy. They need to feel your confidence and your certainty about this deal. And, so you just need to say, okay, I think this is a great deal for you. Let's do it. How would you like to pay? Cash or credit card? It's just that simple. And customer hand over the Visa card, and here we go. So, so the goal is to penetrate past the transaction and get into a new relationship. So just to sum it up, and one of the key tasks as a salesperson is to match supply and demand and identify a need first, and then offer the solution that's going to, number 1, help the customer to solve the problem quickly, and number 2, help them to achieve an experience or the outcome they wish to achieve, and number 3, be a long-term viewer, building a long-term relationship with the customers for the future follow-ups and future supports to ensure customer satisfaction and to building a long-term value and also just creating future business opportunities, which is a win-win for both of you. So thank you.